We are ready to go for senior night here for the girls basketball team. We're going to turn it over mainly to the PA here as we honor these 5 seniors for girls basketball. I'm going to start by honoring the seniors for Chambersburg.
Number 45, Sydney Schmoes. And number 34, Anna Snowsizer. Congratulations and best wishes, girls. Next, we would like to recognize our athletic trainer, Miss Wedding.
Athletic trainer, Ms. Wedding. She'll get presented with a little gift here as well after a great winter season.
And now the Hempfield girls basketball senior lineup.
And now the seniors.
Number 24, of guard, Paola Dumont.
Paola Dumont, member of the junior varsity team. As a senior, she came over as a transfer from J.P. McCaskey.
Including 1 year for Hempfield High School. Paola's planned after graduation are to continue her studies at a 4-year college, majoring in physical therapy and athletic training. Paola is escorted this evening by her mom, Leon Morales. Number 20, a forward, Lindsay Dakota.
Lindsay Dakota, team's leading scorer as a senior.
Basketball for 11 years, 4 of those years for Hempfield High School.
Been with this program for all 4 years in high school.
After she graduates, she will attend the University of Cincinnati to play Division I lacrosse.
She's a multi-sport athlete, as you hear there. She'll also play lacrosse in the spring, and she'll do that in college at Cincinnati.
Number 11, a forward, Sophia Herman.
Sophie Herman. Also a senior.
Sophia has been playing basketball for 10 years, including 4 for Hempfield High School.
4-year senior, I should say.
Years. Sophia plans to attend a 4-year college to major in biology with the career path of a physician assistant. Sophia is escorted tonight by her parents, Jackie and Don Herman. Number 4, a guard, Molly McGarry.
Molly McGarry? The guard?
Molly has been playing basketball for 9 years, 4 of them being for the Hempfield.
She's played for 9 years and 4 at the high school level.
She has led her 3 years. Molly plans to attend a university to study to become a physician assistant. Molly is escorted tonight by her parents, Beth and Kevin McGarry.
And lastly,
number 15, a guard, Lauren Riggs.
Lauren Riggs.
Lauren has been playing basketball for 9 years, including 4 years for Hempfield High School.
She too, a 4-year senior of this team.
Lauren plans to attend Penn State University and major in business. Lauren is escorted tonight by her parents, Lisa and Ben Riggs. Please give one more round of applause for our graduating seniors. Congratulations and best wishes for the future.
See all the seniors and their parents will gather together here for a group photo. And with that, we kick off this senior night here in Hempfield as the Black Knights are ready to take on the Chambersburg Trojans. Great display of pageantry there, as we see every year, to honor these seniors who have given so much to this program. Some, in this case, all of them for 4 years, but even those who were just members this year. they all get recognition here. And we'll see what they can do tonight against the Chambersburg Trojans. We will be back for tip-off here on HST TV 7. You're watching Hempfield Black Knights girls basketball senior night here in Landisville. And hi everybody, welcome back to the Hempfield High School, and we're ready to go. It is senior night for the Hempfield Black Knights girls basketball team against the Chambersburg Trojans. Leg 2 of a doubleheader here, as the boys team played earlier, got a victory 72-61 over Pottstown. And now it's another non-league game, but this one will be senior night for the girls, and we're getting ready to introduce you to the starting lineups for both sides.
Matchup between the Chambersburg Trojans and your 2020 Section 1 champion, Black Knights.
The Section 1 champion, Black Knights, coming in at 15-5, Chambersburg 4-14.
Number 15, Bria Klopper.
Bria Klopper for Chambersburg is the first starter.
Number 35, Sydney Schmoose.
Sydney Schmoose.
Number 34, Anna Stonesifer.
Anna Stonesifer. Those are the three seniors for Chambersburg. You saw them get recognized in the senior night presentation. Madison Flight.
Number 2, Erin Patillo.
And Erin Patillo. Those are the starters for Chambersburg.
Now for your Hempfield Black Knights.
And for Hempfield, 4 seniors on the varsity team. They all start tonight, and they get a standing ovation from a lot of the boys team who just got a victory. And they're in the student section now. The lone non-senior, though, is the junior Jess Weinel.
And celebrating senior night, our seniors, number 4, Molly McGarry.
Molly McGarry.
Senior, number 11, Sophie Herman.
Sophie Herman.
Senior, number 15, Lauren Riggs.
Lauren Riggs.
And senior, number 20, Lindsay Dakota.
And Lindsay Dakota will round things out for the Hempfield starting lineup.
The national anthem was played earlier today, so we're going to get right into it.
And as you mentioned, the national anthem was played before the boys' game, so we will not replay that here. We're going to get right into the thick of things, and with that, I bring in my partner tonight, Xander Hughes. Glad to have you here tonight for this girls' game. Producer is Connor Sensenig. All right, Xander, this Hempfield girls team, they have been dominant at times this season, and a great example of that was their last game against Elizabethtown on Thursday night when they held the Bears to nothing in the first half. 20-0 was the score. Wound up being 34-19 the final score. Hempfield won that game to retain their perfect league record. They'll play McCaskey on Tuesday and try to finish out a perfect regular season. But for now, they play against the non-league Trojans. And we'll have to see how it all goes. The opening tip will go to Hempfield, and Molly McGarry will be the one to bring it up. McGarry's not gotten a ton of playing time this season, but she'll play a lot tonight, as will all 4 of the seniors. Dakota, McGarry, Weinel, Dakota, thinks, ponders, will get out to Riggs. And Hempfield, we know they like to slow the pace down. They're coming out, passing a lot here early on. Weinel all the way across to Riggs. Over to McGarry. Chambersburg coach telling the girls to put a little more pressure on Riggs, trying to set up Herman over the middle. She'll bounce out to Dakota. She'll take a mid-range shot, and it bounces off the rim and doesn't go, but Herman gets the rebound, but it's called for stepping out of bounds beforehand.
No.
Or actually, no.
Foul.
Yeah, foul call. My apologies there, Xander. It was a lot of bodies down there. She was forced out there with some contact. Foul is called on Schmoose. Now Weinel will inbound it. Bounce. Dakota, that one goes out, but it goes out off of Stonesifer. So Hempfield will get a third opportunity now. 47 seconds into the game. Weinel. Gotta be careful, don't get a 5-second violation. Riggs all the way across to Herman, who takes a one-handed stab at it and gets it. Now it's McGarry out to Weinel. Dakota, McGarry. Looking. Finds Dakota all the way across. Inside, Herman to Weinel, who will try to back instead. Try to get out to Herman. It went off of Bria Cooper. Or Klopper, my apologies, and Hempfield's got another shot. Alrighty. Now Dakota, McGarry, a deep 3. Off the mark. But Hempfield tries to get the rebound, and that time they won't get it back as it went off Dakota's hands. Molly McGarry tried to come out shooting there. That one was from deep, and it had a chance. Couldn't quite hit the circle.
See how they start off on defense here.
So Chambersburg finally has their first offensive possession of the game. It's Schmoose. Back to Flythe. Klopper. Cross to Schmoose. Flythe with another chance. And gives it to Riggs, and Riggs will pick it off. So Lauren Riggs in this bench area for Hempfield, about as loud as we've seen it all year. We know, they know these seniors have worked hard for this opportunity. McGarry step in, try to pass inside to Dakota. Now there's a fight. We may have a jump ball, and we will. Great job by Dakota getting in there, trying to force the jump ball. It will retain with Chambersburg now, but nice hustle there by Lindsay Dakota to get in the mob and force the jump ball there with Sydney Schmoose. But it's a scoreless. First minute 53 here in Landisville, and Hempfield running a press, and it pays off with Weinl to get to the bucket and put Hempfield on the board. So the first points of the night come from the lone non-senior, and now she's got it back again. Weinl cuts it off, and now Dakota from three, off the mark. And McGarry there for the rebound. Hempfield's defense is working. McGarry off the front rim as she tried for the second time tonight to warm the three ball up. Now she'll get back on defense. It's Schmoose getting it across. Klopper covered by the other number 15. That is Riggs. Out. And a shot from three, and a foul is going to give 3 shots to the line at Chambersburg. That foul was on Aaron Patillo. It was McGarry called with the 3-point foul.
Aaron Patillo shooting.
So Patillo will get 3 chances from the line here to try and get the 3-point play the non-conventional way. And that one bounces off the front rim and through. But Xander, we've talked about this Hempfield defense. Took Chambersburg 2:36 just to get on the board in this game.
Yes, it did. And that full court defense, if they can keep that up all game, first half and second half, that's going to be very deadly.
When we talk about Chambersburg, they come in with a record of 4-14. So on paper, you think this is an easy game for Hempfield. But Chambersburg going to try and make them work for it here in this one.
I was watching them during warm-up, and they looked like very good shooters.
Yeah, they did look good. Patillo made all 3 of her free throws. That makes it 3-2. Chambersburg up, and Riggs is called for a travel before she can get it across court. So Chambersburg will get it right back. And they got a little bit of momentum now here. Do the Trojans. Pass back to Patillo. McGarry guarding on her. Trying to get a pull in there, couldn't. And now Chambersburg will go to work. And falling down, going out hard is Riggs, and the mid-range shot is good by Klopper. First points from the field tonight for the Trojans. Dakota across to Riggs. And this senior-heavy led team right now will go to work. Out to Weinl. Looks inside and gives it away. And now Riggs will force another jump ball. Good job by Lauren Riggs getting her hands in there and forcing another jump ball like Dakota did the first time. This time, as it alternates, it will go to Hempfield. And Weinl will look to inbound it to McGarry. Across, Dakota. Back to McGarry. Thinks and then fires to Weinl. Finds Dakota in the middle. Dakota is called for a travel before anything. Travel call, and Chambersburg will get it back. Pressure applied there by Sydney Schmoose. And now she'll go to inbound it. And again, Hempfield going with this aggressive full court press here. So they try to keep him in a corner. That time they get it across, and now it's 2-on-1. Herman gets down there, does a nice job defensively, putting on the pressure. It's Patillo out to Schmoose. And then Klopper will drive inside, and it spins off the rim, and Dakota gets tall for the rebound. As we're halfway through quarter number 1, Knights down 5-2, but with opportunities. Can they start taking advantage of them now is the question. Herman, back to Dakota. Riggs, out, Weinl. Riggs, McGarry. Nice bounce pass by McGarry inside to Herman. Now McGarry back to Riggs, back to Weinl. Hempfield continues to go to work. McGarry inside. Dakota mid-range jumper off the mark. And again trying to crowd Schmooze, and they get in on her. Looks like a timeout is called before anything there. That was probably a smart timeout there by the head coach for the Trojans.
Almost an 8-second violation.
Yeah, it would have been an issue there for the Trojans as they were trying to make sure they could get it across. But these nights come out a little bit slow. You wonder maybe that's because of the fact that a lot of these seniors haven't played on the court at the same time this season, so this is really the first time they're having this chemistry together. You think that could be part of the reason for the slow start?
It could be. It could also just be that the nerves are getting to them, the emotions getting to them. I mean, it's their last time playing in a league game, or not in a league game, in a regular season game at this gym.
Well, that is what's funny, Xander. This is actually, and I know you didn't know this, so I should have warned you this on air. This is actually not Hempfield's last home game. They do host McCaskey at home on Tuesday, but Coach Merrifield decided that this would be the game to best showcase the seniors, so she decided to make this game the senior recognition night instead of the last home game. There's another jump ball called. That one will retain with Chambersburg. So yeah, this is not the Black Knights' last home game, but this is the game where the seniors are being recognized and where they're going to get probably the most opportunity to really play and lead this team here tonight. We won't see as much of the underclassmen that have led this team for a lot of the season as we will likely against McCaskey or in the playoffs, when this team will be in league playoffs, which start a week from today. They'll be in the quarterfinal round, and they will play the winner of the Mannheim Central game, which is Section 3 runner-up, and then whoever the Section 5 runner-up is, we'll see who that is as the playoff picture for leagues start to come together. But for now, it's the Trojans, and they've started out having their way with the Black Knights. As Riggs is called for the foul there. And they get it across to Schmooze. Patilla all the way across, and shooting from 3 off the rim and off the mark is Karen Walker. Walker, who had just subbed in, misses on that one. And Hempfield takes it up now, down by 3. Weinl to Herman. Inside, Dakota. Bounce, backs. Gets her own rebound. Will try to clean up on the other end. Still try to power through. Will third time be the charm? It will not, but she'll draw the foul. You had to feel that was coming. They weren't going to hold her off forever down there, Xander.
That was very fun to watch.
Her first, team second. Dakota shooting 2.
Dakota will shoot 2 here from the line to try and get the deficit down to 1. She connects on the first one. Dakota came in the night averaging 72% from the line. She'll add to that a little bit here.
Entering for Chambersburg, number 44, Timmy Parker.
And Chambersburg with another substitution in here. And second one goes as well. Katie Parker is the one who came in for Chambersburg. And Weinl trying to cut that one off again. Man, she's been aggressive defensively so far in this one. And now Chambersburg is again in trouble. McGarry and Dakota blanketing. And looks like another timeout there. Chambersburg had no choice. McGarry and Dakota just took her back to the line, and they would have pushed her out of the school if they had a choice. So now, both sides going to take a timeout. I think this is a good opportunity, though, for both sides to calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
And Hempfield, I mean, they've possessed the ball a lot, just haven't been able to get many points out of it to this point.
I like them to see them try and drive a little more to the basket. It's all been passing, which, don't get me wrong, it's an awesome way to play the game, but you got to drive in and try and score at some point.
Yeah, that's true. Especially if they can't get shooting from the perimeter going. We'll see if they can. Of course, Autumn Cook has the most threes on the team with 18, but when she's not out there, the rest of the team combined has 13 on the season. And when you go among the 4 seniors, Dakota has 5, Riggs has 4, and that's it. So with that senior-heavy lineup out there, we may not see as much shooting from beyond the arc, although we've seen McGarry take a couple shots so far, and we'll see if she can get one of those to fall here later on. Meanwhile, for Chambersburg, they have gotten off to a very similar start, but at times have looked overwhelmed by Hempfield's defense, and I'd say they're relatively lucky to be in the lead right now with 2:20 to go. Let's see if this Hempfield defense can force another turnover. They may.
You got to remember, the reason they're in the lead is from that three-point foul.
Yeah. And now you got another fight for it. And that's a jump ball, 4th of the game so far. That one will go to Hempfield. It was just Weidel that time getting in there to force the jump ball. So Hempfield is just suffocating Chambersburg right now on the defensive end, and it's paying off. Now can they get their offense going? So we're coming up to the 6-minute mark of this game, which means we'll have about 2 minutes to go in the quarter. Riggs looks. Dakota. McGarry just gets it in there. Now McGarry will look to pass it to Riggs under the basket. Back out to McGarry. Herman. And Dakota. Hempfield will try again. Dakota's going to look to drive. And get there with the N1 to come. Lindsay Dakota, fantastic drive to the bucket. And the N1 will now give her a chance to make the lead 2. As Hempfield's got the lead for the first time since their opening bucket. That one bounces out of the rim, no good. So 6-5 to score. Nice, but they're still applying the pressure. And again, it's Dakota and Weidel, and they're fighting. And we're gonna have another jump ball. That is number 5. Xander, if I lose count, make sure to remind me. They're not giving Chambersburg room to breathe right now.
Entering the game, Chambersburg, number 23, Flythe.
Flythe comes back in for Schmutz. For Chambersburg, and she will inbound it here to Patillo. He will ponder, and now McGarry on her. Clapper trying to step back outside. Whoop. Can't get it going. Walker. Blanketed by Riggs, and that one won't go. Herman bats it back to Dakota, and Dakota mops up for the rebound. And they'll get it across. As we come down near the end of the first quarter, 1:11 to go. Weidel looking. Finds McGarry. She'll take a look now. Fire to Riggs. Inside again, Dakota trying to get it over to Herman, but Karen Walker stuck an arm up and got it back, and now she's going to try and go all the way down court.
Travel was called.
Yeah, travel was called, and Dakota almost got landed on kind of funkily there. That right leg as Walker came to the ground. Thankfully, Dakota looks all right. And now, Hempfield with another chance offensively. I think they've possessed the ball almost this entire game to this point. But can they get the offense going? At least on a more proficient level.
It's like this will be the last possession of the game.
McGarry. It's not as obvious as what we saw against Township when Autumn Cook just held for the last shot for about 40 seconds and held it in her hands. But McGarry, who plays a very similar role to Cook on the team, will do the same thing. And now Hempfield will go to work with 10 seconds left. Herman thought about loading up. Instead, inside, Dakota. Riggs all the way across. She'll take from 3. And it is off the mark. Weidel fight for it. And a foul is going to get called with 2 seconds left.
See if they can work some magic here.
Yeah, well, all you got to do is just try and get somebody open for a 3 and then shoot it right away. That might be their best chance.
First second, team score, entering the game, Chambersburg, number 45. Sydney Byers, number 34.
Sydney Byers comes in for Chambersburg. Sydney Schmutz will also come back in, I believe. Or no, Anna Stuntsville will come back in for Chambersburg. Here's Dakota from 3, and that one's off the mark. Alrighty, so it's 6-5, not a lot of offense, certainly not as much as we saw in that boys game earlier, when those two offenses lit up the scoreboard. But for Hempfield right now, I mean, defensively, it's been an awesome start.
Yes.
I mean, they have forced a ton of pressure on Chambersburg. On the offensive side, not as much. But they've got time to rebound. What's the strategy, you think, Xander? You mentioned driving to the bucket here.
Yep.
Is that something they can still employ as we go into quarter number 2?
I think that's their main thing they should employ. Their first lead came from, besides the first score of the game, came from driving to that bucket and getting the N1.
Yeah.
And I think if they can, I don't know if this team can handle it. I think Hempfield, if they can keep driving on them, be able to extend their lead by a lot.
It's a credit to Chambersburg, though. I mean, they've been able to at least not give Hempfield the comfortable open looks inside that they might be used to, and they have to work for it a little bit more. So it's a credit to these 4-14 Trojans, who clearly have not given up on the season, even though it is a lost one. Obviously, for Hempfield, they've got much bigger fish to fry beyond tonight. They would love nothing more than to get a victory to honor these 4 seniors.
The one thing I am seeing is these Chambersburg players are playing very aggressively and very passionately, and I wonder if
Their Hempfield's defense that they're putting on them is affecting that.
So we will now see the more conventional starting lineup here after Molly McGarry and Sophie Herman played the entirety of the first quarter. Autumn Cook and Lauren Moffitt, the 2 freshmen on the other end of the spectrum, will check back in. And Moffitt mistimed her jump there, it looks like, and now a fight for it. Gets it back to Chambersburg. And taking it across is Fleiss. Back to Stonesifer. Back to Patillo. Patillo gonna look out to Fleiss. Looks like a mid-range shot from just inside the arc. It does not go, but it goes out off Lauren Riggs. And so Chambersburg will keep the ball. As we start quarter number 2 here, 7:31 left to play in the half. Chambersburg is down by 1 in the foul game. Knights have only committed 2. Chambersburg has committed 4. So neither team in dire trouble right now, but Chambersburg got to be a little bit more aware of that moving forward. Here's Patillo. Guarded by Cook. Gets it out. Fleiss. Inside, right to Moffitt. And Moffitt gets it out there to Riggs. And Hempfield will go back to work on offense with another turnover forced of the Trojans. Weidel looks, finds Dakota, all the way across Riggs to Weidel, Cook, Dakota. Will take another shot from 3, and it's off the rim, but Weidel gets the rebound. So even when Hempfield's not getting those shots so far, they've been able to get the rebounds. Cook trying to set a Moffitt over the middle, can't do it. Chambersburg gets it back. It is Madison Fleiss there to clean up. Get it across, very defensive. First half to this point, only 11 points on the scoreboard, as Chambersburg has been giving Hempfield fits at times. So too is Hempfield. Both these teams locking down the paint really well. It might just come down to who gets going from the perimeter first, because neither of these teams have really gotten that cooking. And that was right to Moffitt, and that looks like a what did she find play. She got it back, gets it back to Dakota. We see Bryn Axe by the table. She's getting ready to sub in at the next opportunity. Dakota finds Moffitt over the middle, who, like a brick wall, stands tall and gets to the bucket. 4-2. Hempfield continues with the press. Chambersburg breaks it. They're across now. And back to work. Shot from 3. Patillo off the rim, but the rebound by Byers, and now another jump ball. Chambersburg will keep it. Now we see some wholesale substitutions here for Chambersburg. 3 players come in for them. For Hempfield, it's Axe. You have Klopper, Schmoose, and Walker all coming in for Chambersburg. See if that can get a little bit more offense going right now for both these sides. Gets it out to Patillo. Walker. Dakota blanketing her. And then it's Fleiss on Weidel. Jumper and fouled on the way. 4-2. So Fleiss will come to the line. Foul is called on Weidel. Only 3rd.
Fleiss shooting 2.
And getting the first free throw there. Now for number 2, Fleiss will load up and connect with it. All right, 8-7. Dakota gets it to Cook, and now we see Chambersburg getting a little bit more aggressive. They're running more of a 3/4 court press. Cook, spinning, gets it to Weinelt. They still gotta get it across though. Time is running out, they just do. Dakota gets it across midcourt to avoid a 10-second violation. It's Weinelt to Dakota. Looking. And it's Axe. Looking to drive inside. Fight for it. Trying to keep that pivot foot down. And off the mark is Axe. And Chambersburg will get it back. And a foul is called on Weinelt. That is her second.
Number 5.
Now Hempfield in their fourth foul. 7 fouls to get the bonus. 5 to foul out. That's number 2 for Weinelt. And she will come out for Riggs. We saw Weinelt get in some early foul trouble against Manheim Township that forced her out for most of the first half. And so it looks like they'll keep her out now and try to preserve her a little bit more and put Riggs back in. So 2 seniors, a sophomore, and 2 freshmen on the court. Oh, look out. Miscommunication there, but Chambersburg gets back on it, and all the way across is Walker, and that one hits the back of the rim before back of the backboard before anything else, which rules it a dead ball, so Hempfield gets it back. Dakota across, finds Axe. Again, Chambersburg playing aggressive. They saw what Hempfield did, and that's a clear foul as Axe got taken to the ground there. As she had Patillo on her. That is Chambersburg's 5th now of the half with 4:12 to go. Axe across, Riggs, Cook will find Riggs, who checks up before the 3-point line. Now Cook will let it fly. And that one just bounces out of the rim, man. Oh, Cook. Trying to get that 3-ball going again, couldn't do it. And now on the other side, getting it for Chambersburg is Flight to give them back the lead. They were inspired by the 3-point shooting we saw in the boys game where Connor Axe hit 8 threes in that one. Haven't seen as many tonight. A mid-range shot doesn't go by Axe, but what a job by Moffitt to get the rebound and put it back in there to tie this baby back up, and then Axe cuts it off. How about that? Great Axe. Cutting it off from Patillo to give Hempfield back the lead. And now Patillo across. And it's Walker. Back to Schmooze. Out, Flight. The drive and
Travel.
Yeah, travel is called there. No, foul is called there on Cook.
Her first, team 5th.
As we come down to the end of what has been a pretty fast-paced first half as far as time-wise go, but we haven't seen a lot of scoring to this point. We'll see if that changes. Flight back to Bria Klopper. Klopper across, Flight looks, Schmooze, and fight for it there, and that went out. Looks like there was a bit of miscommunication in traffic there as Klopper couldn't get back on it. And Hempfield will get it back with 2:49 to go. Cook finds Riggs. And that one's stolen by Patillo, and she gets the bucket to tie it back up. As Patillo able to cut in front of Autumn Cook there for the basket. 12-12. Dakota trying to spin her way, lost the ball. Axe gets back on top of it.
We'll pretend that was a pass.
Yeah. Back to Moff. And blanked it in, and Dakota has a fight. Who's going to get back on it first? Still a loose ball all the way back, and Cook's got to run it all the way down to the other side of the court and try and make Walker miss. I think Walker was still called for a foul there. Autumn Cook can handle the ball, I don't think, like anybody else on the team. We've seen her break a few ankles this season and came close to doing another one there. 2:12 to go. 12-12 is the score. And half number 1 is Axe inbound to Cook. Riggs. All the way across. Cook. She'll try it again. Second time. Doesn't go. And wisely, Schmooze will let that one trickle its way out of bounds. down inside 2 minutes now in this first half. And we'll see if Chambersburg can get anything going. No, they can't. Cook cuts it off and gets to the bucket. Autumn Cook read that thing like a book and got it away from Chambersburg to get the lead back. And now that one, a fight for it, out of bounds, and they will give possession. I believe it'll retain with Chambersburg there. Hempfield's bench is not thrilled about that one. They had a front row seat for it.
A little confusion there, yeah.
So I think that was Riggs who tried to jostle it away there from the other number 15, Klopper. Way across court is Patillo. Guarded by Cook. Closely out. And a shot just on the line, doesn't go. Moffitt gets the rebound over Stonesifer. And under 90 seconds to play now. Cook will take it up slowly. Axe, Riggs, Cook. Passing all the way across court to Riggs. Finds Dakota. Hempfield passing it well inside to Moffitt. She'll bounce. Cook, mid-range shot off the mark. And rebounded. Now have another jump ball as Moffitt got on it with Stonesifer. So Hempfield will keep possession there. Brinax will inbound it with an even minute to go. How about Dakota comes beautiful play. Wow. Yeah, that was pretty right there. Dakota came racing in while everyone was stopped still, and Axe just shoved it to her, and she put it to the bucket and then took a charge. All right, Lindsay Dakota, how's that for senior night? That gets everybody riled up. It's a delicate game when you're trying to take a charge because you can either get called for a foul if it doesn't go right, or obviously the other player gets called for a foul, and if you take that charge, that will that'll get you some clout among the team.
Oh, yes.
They love to see that. We've seen that a couple times this season, and might be the first we've seen from Dakota, at least in the games we've done. All right, so Autumn Cook is going to try this same thing again that we have seen a little bit more increasingly the past few games. She's not going to just straight out hold it, but she's going to dribble it. And we'll probably, again, go down to that 15 or so second threshold, and here we go. So Cook pitches out to Dakota. Finds Axe. Hempfield, have they given themselves enough time? Cook had a buzzer beater 3 against E-Town. Didn't get it there, but Hempfield's got it back. Dakota, Moffitt, and too little too late. And that's how half number 1 will end. Knights are up 16-12 over the Trojans. Dramatic first half here on senior night. A lot of defense is what we saw in half number 1. But the Black Knights are up over the Trojans by 4. And we'll be back on the other side for the third quarter. Xander and I'll be back to break it all down. For him and my producer Connor Sensinig, I'm Kasey Kreider, and we'll be back in just a little bit for quarter number 3. And hi everybody, welcome back to the Hempfield High School. We're ready to go. Quarter number 3 of the senior night action is ready to unfold here. And the Black Knights have a 4-point lead over Chambersburg. The Trojans have held them honest to this point, but the Knights still with a slight advantage, and we'll have to see if that continues on through quarters number 3 and 4. Chambersburg will start with it here. The inbound. And we see the same lineup we saw in the second quarter in there now. Moffitt, Cook, Riggs, Weinelt, and Dakota remain in for quarter number 3, and away we go. And with that, I bring back in my colleague, Xander Hughes, tonight. So Xander, first half, we saw a lot of defense. What are the adjustments we need to see on each side for both Hempfield and Chambersburg to try and get back in this?
I think we just see exactly that. Some more shots being taken, and that's very good defensive rebound.
Yeah, great defensive rebound there by Moffitt. All the way across to Cook off the pass from Cook, but Riggs, but Weinelt couldn't get back on it. Looks like she might have bounced it off one of the Chambersburg players' feet, though, to keep possession.
Yes, as I was saying, I feel like we should see some more shots here. Some more three-pointers, which we did see 3 attempts made at the very end of that half.
That's
which
true.
Came up short, but
Nice job by Dakota to body her way in. She was Hempfield's leading scorer in the first half, had 6, now she's got 8. And again, Hempfield continued with that stifling defense, but Chambersburg breaks it. And shot from 3, deep from 3 and off the mark. That was taken by Klopper, and now Klopper back on it. Looks out to Schmoose, and she will take a shot from 3. That won't go. And off the deflection, getting the rebound is Cook. So yeah, as you mentioned, there were no three-point shots for Hempfield. You had McGarry take a few when she was in there, Dakota take a few and miss, Cook took a few and couldn't hit it. So the three-point shooting has not been on point to this point, but still nearly a whole half of basketball yet to play. As it's Riggs across to Dakota. Weinel. Out to Cook. Inside Riggs, back to Weinel, trying to make some people miss. Weinel puts it up there, and it just bounces off the rim, and then she goes down. And Dakota trying to put the pressure on without giving up a foul, and then she got a hand on it. But that will keep it with Chambersburg. Nice job, though, in transition for Dakota to try and knock it out and keep potential 2 points from off the board and make Chambersburg have to work for it some more here. Chambersburg looking around. It's Walker. Out. And Stonesifer inside.
looked like that may have been blocked by
Cook there. Yeah, Cook and Riggs were in there. Inside, Moffitt off the pass from Cook and fouled on the way. He's lower, and Moffitt should come to the line. She is 61% from the line. And you hear the bench say, let's go, Molly, because Molly McGarry's getting ready to come back in, one of the seniors. She's going to get her opportunity to sub in here. After this first free throw by Moffitt, which goes, so McGarry will come in, as will Asia Thomas and Bria Klopper. McGarry comes in for Cook. And for an 8-point lead. It's off the mark. And Chambersburg covers up the rebound. Across to Schmoose. Schmoose looking. Finds Klopper. Klopper going to work the outside on Flight. Klopper. Patillo trying to get through the contact and drawing the foul. That will send her to the line, and the foul is called on Dakota. Her first of the game and first of the half for the Black Knights. And now Aaron Patillo from the line. Makes the first one. And number 2 also goes. All right. So for Hempfield, we've seen a little bit of offense coming out. Here's some defense as well. They've been able to, it seems like, keep the control, the pace of this game, play the type they want. McGarry taking it up to Weinel. They've just been missing on a few of their shots here and there and have had a little bit of trouble finishing down around the rim. And I think the same can almost be said for Chambersburg as well. We've seen these two teams play very similarly a lot of the night to this point. As it's McGarry to Riggs, who tried to set up Dakota, and instead it was Thomas who had just subbed in. She got tall and able to force the rebound back to Klopper. And Chambersburg will go to work down 5. Klopper tried to make Riggs miss, but in the process is called for a travel as she was trying hard to juke out Lauren Riggs there, but her pivot foot moved as well. And so what could have been a nifty play turns into a costly turnover for the Trojans. And McGarry will take it up. Get it across, bounce to Riggs, back to McGarry, inside. Nice pass by McGarry to Weinel, Moffitt, and then an even better pass from Moffitt to Weinelt, but Weinelt couldn't finish. She does get in to force the jump ball, though, and keep possession for the Knights. And Weinelt looking, finds Riggs. She'll load up and fire from 3. It doesn't go, but Moffitt is right there and draws the foul. So Moffitt, for the second time this quarter, will come to the line. Autumn Cook and Sophie Herman are getting ready to come back in for the Knights. And Moffitt connects. Cook comes in for McGarry. And now we'll see when Herman will come in, likely after this next shot. Moffitt is off the mark on the second one again. So 2 for 4 on the night so far is Moffitt. And Patillo gets it across, 6-point game, 4:27 to go. And getting tripped up there is Klopper. That'll be a foul called on Lauren Riggs.
Hempfield foul number 15 on Riggs, her second.
Her second of the game. Herman and Axe come in. They will come in for Riggs and Moffitt.
23 for Axe.
Chambersburg will go back to work now. Can they get anything going offensively? Only 2 points through the first, almost the entire first half of this third quarter. Working outside, finds Parker. Patillo inside. And blocked by Axe, but that's a foul called on Axe. She was trying to get up there and get it away from Klopper before she could get to the basket. Now Klopper will have to earn those 2 points from the line.
You can hear that contact from up here.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Klopper connects. And number 2 bounces out again, but a rebound. That was Thomas boxing out on Sophie Herman to get the rebound, but Hempfield eventually gets it back now. And it's Dakota across. She will look out to Cook. Cook trying to make the moves happen. Keep it going, out to Axe. Weinelt. Thought, now Herman. Mid-range shot, doesn't get anything. And looks like a foul. Going to be called on Axe. Actually, yes. Yeah, actually called on Dakota, it looks like. Either way, it's Chambersburg ball. 3:41 to go. Hempfield just haven't been able to get comfortable so far in this game, Xander. That's the main thing. I'm thinking, nice job there. That was Cook and Dakota blanketed. And it was Dakota, and that's now 200 points on the season for Dakota. With that bucket, Cook gets it back and then gives it away to Thomas. But what I was going to say, Xander, is Hempfield doesn't look like they've been able to get comfortable tonight so far against Chambersburg. They have made these Black Knights earn this 22-15 advantage. And even though Chambersburg has not always been able to break through, they have kept it respectable. And now here's a 3-shot from Klopper, and it got the rim. To cut the deficit back to 4. And that one cut off. It's Thomas, but looks like she might have stepped out of bounds there. She was trying to corral the rebound, or the steal. So Weinelt will come to inbound. Back to Cook. Axe. Looking. Finds Weinelt. Back to Axe. Dakota inside. Finds Herman. Herman back to Axe. Over to Dakota. She'll try to drive and get fouled. Reaching foul they're called.
Chambersburg foul number 2.
Pushing foul on Patillo.
Her third, team third.
And that is Patillo's third, so she's got to be a little bit careful here. Here's Dakota taking a shot. It doesn't go. Herman not quite able to finish off and corral the rebound. Chambersburg taking it up with the tiniest bit of momentum off that last three made by Klopper. Go back to work now as it's Flythe. Back to Klopper, covered by X. Klopper will look to drive along the baseline and throw it right into the bench area, trying to get to Patillo. Now Riggs and Moffitt come back in for Herman and Weinold. So we're seeing some different, more unconventional laps tonight because of the seniors that are getting more playing time. We'll see how they pay off here as this continues on. Little bit of a bigger lineup out there right now in terms of height. You got Axe, Riggs, Dakota, Moffitt, and Cook, your five right now. Axe across. Cook. Looks like she looked at it for a sec. Instead bounces to Dakota. Dakota will try to spin and back and draw the foul with the end one to come.
Student section loving
Yeah,
that.
I was gonna say the student section saw a muscle flex down there. Dakota just using her strength to back in to the basket.
Dakota shooting one.
Dakota to try and complete the three-point play here and put the Knights up by 7 with 1:30 to go in quarter 3. Got it. True to form. 13 points on this senior night for Dakota. I believe her season high is 17. That was against the first matchup with Cedar Crest. So she's got a shot to bust that tonight. Patillo, guarded by Axe. To Schmoose. Schmoose back to Patillo. Chambersburg got to get a little bit more offense going here, you think, to get back in this one. Hempfield has had a pretty comfortable 4 to 7 point lead most of this, and it's Moffitt getting the rebound off the missed mid-range shot. So the missed jumper didn't hit the rim, it fell right into Lauren Moffitt's hands. And I think we're gonna see it again. For the third time in as many quarters, I think Autumn Cook may hold here, or will she? Looked like she was signaling for maybe one shot. Hempfield still might go with that philosophy, but it won't be Cook to handle it for now.
There she goes.
And now will. You hear the bench saying, yeah, I'm really putting in the work right now. It's funny, but it's an interesting, and we've seen an effective strategy to this point. I mean, they can't score if you don't let them.
Yeah.
And if you don't make an effort to come after the ball, what are you going to do? Now you got a bona fide wrestling match down there. And what's
a tech called on.
Yeah. One of the players for Chambersburg. Did you catch the numbers, Xander? I couldn't.
I believe it is number 2 right now.
Yeah, Patillo, okay. Huh, okay, you don't see that one very often. But the tech foul will send Dakota to the line. So that's not the way I think we expected to maybe see the last shot of the half. That one bounces in. With another to come. And Patillo's close to fouling out now. She's got 4 fouls with that technical. Dakota with 1 more. That one bounces out. All right. So a tech foul called on Erin Patillo. Gives Dakota 2 free shots from the line. She makes 1 of them. And with 5.6 seconds to go, it retains with Hempfield now off that foul. So they'll have a chance to maybe break this thing open and get double digits here. And Cook will look to take it. Pass, Axe, 3. Try to make like her brother, but can't do it. And 26-18 is the score after 3. Hempfield, a little bit more comfortable now, 8-point advantage entering the final 8 minutes. That tech foul, though, big story, coming down to the end, as it gave Hempfield ultimately only 1 point out of it, but still an opportunity for Hempfield to end out the half strong. And now these final 8 minutes, Xander, I wonder if Chambersburg is going to get any sort of run going to try and win this game. What are they going to have to do?
Chambersburg, I mean, whatever they've been doing was working in the first half.
True.
I'm not entirely sure what it was, but it was affecting Hempfield's offense, and they were doing it very well. I just think their coach should try and do the same thing.
Yeah, their defense has been a little bit more lacking since that first quarter or so. Meanwhile, for the Knights, I gotta imagine strategy. Hey, I mean, we're in control of this. We're controlling the tempo. We're not hitting all our shots, but we're hitting enough of them to make it very respectable. And I think right now that's just got to be the key for Hempfield. Just kind of hang on to this one and see if you can't blow it open here in quarter number 4. As we come out, it'll be Chambersburg with the ball to start. And you'll see the same lineup that we saw at the end there in. You got Weinel, Cook, Riggs, Axe, or no, it is Riggs, Dakota, and Moffett in to start the 4th. Pass out. Look inside. That is Thomas getting on it. Thomas back to Byers. And Moffett for the rebound. Moffett back to Dakota. And now for Hempfield, I think, as we mentioned, maybe just try and control the tempo a little bit, see if you can eat some clock right now and then get a shot on top of it. As Cook, trying to direct the other way, finds Riggs. Cook, why not? Inside, bounce to Dakota. She'll find Riggs outside. Back to Cook, back to Weinel. Cook spinning, looking, backing all the way up. Trying to eat a little clock here and make Chambersburg fight for it. Now Cook gonna load up and try to make her moves. She can handle the ball pretty well, no doubt about it. Passes out to Weinel. Now Weinel gonna work back outside. Dakota tries to set a bit of a screen, and Weinel back on it, and Hempfield taking a lot of clock here.
I'm not entirely sure what they're doing here.
Well, I think it's just that, Xander. They're trying to chew some clock right now. They realize they're up. They realize Chambersburg offense has not been capable of producing a lot of points. See how much of this clock you can eat up before you get a shot off. Oh, and Cook goes down with Parker on top of her, and then gets back up and gets back on it. And finally, after near... Go on, Xander.
It looked like there was a foul there on Weinhardt. I could not tell there.
Yeah. Ultimately, though, Hempfield took about a minute and a half of clock off. And that one will go back to Hempfield.
As Hempfield coach takes a timeout.
Yeah. And I think a smart timeout. I really don't think that first couple minutes of the quarter could have gone much better, except if Hempfield would have gotten some points out of it. But they took a ton of clock off there. Playing keep away from Chambersburg, now down to 6:02, and it's still an 8-point deficit. Xander, I don't know. I just don't know if Chambersburg's offense can come back from that with what we've seen from the Knights defensively. But
it's going to have to be a miracle.
They're going to have to get hot from outside. We saw Klopper make a 3 early. Flythe had a 3 early on. Get one of those outside shooters going, and maybe you got a chance. But it just doesn't look like Hempfield is going to give them the easy points down low. Chambersburg, if they're going to get back in this, will have to work very hard for it. And we'll see what Coach Merrifield decides to do as far as personnel goes coming out of this timeout. Obviously, Dakota, we've seen pretty much the entire night. I don't think she's come out once. Riggs, we've seen for a majority of the night. We saw McGarry and Herman for the entirety of that first quarter, and then came in for a little bit, about a minute at a time in the third. So we haven't seen a ton of them to this point, but we'll see if Hempfield preserves this lead, if we see them more as the minutes wind down. For now, it's the same lineup on court. Weinelt will inbound it. And Cook all the way across. Weinelt trying to get some quick points. Nice baseline drive by Weinelt. She went all the way across court. Dakota out to Cook. Cook working back. Trying to hang on to it. Dakota. And right now, Hempfield, they're patient, they're content to take what Chambersburg gives them, but there's a reach-in foul called on Klopper on Riggs. And that might have been more so just to stop the bleeding there. The bleeding of the clock more so than anything. Try to adjust, get some subs in, and maybe adjust on the defensive end here. Klopper trying to get as high as she possibly could. And now it looks like
they say she's.
Foul call there on Walker. And that is Chambersburg 6, so they are very close now to being in the bonus. One more foul, and they will put Hempfield in the bonus. Moffitt off the inbound, can't get the bucket to go, and rebounded by Thomas. Now getting it out to Schmoose. Schmoose working outside, it's Walker. Inside, Thomas, and a foul. Called down low, and I believe that will be on Moffitt.
Hempfield foul. Moffitt, her first, team fifth.
That's Moffitt's first. Hempfield also has committed some fouls. They're up to 5 now, but they still have one more to give before they put the Trojans in the bonus. Bounce inside to Thomas. Chambersburg has to get something going quickly. Try the jumper, it doesn't go. Klopper cannot connect, and Dakota smothers it as we're down inside 5 minutes. We have not seen a bucket in this fourth quarter yet. Will that change here in the final 5 minutes? Chambersburg obviously has to hope it does. Dakota, pushing foul call. That'll put Hempfield in the bonus on Walker. And Dakota will come to the line shooting 1 and 1.
Walker, her third, team 7, 1 and 1.
So Dakota, who already leads the scoring tonight, she's got more than half of the night's points with 14 of the 26.
I believe that will put her above 200 points for the season.
Yeah, yep, she crossed that earlier on. She's got 205 now with that one. As she tries to finish off what has been an all-star caliber type season. And she's up to 16 on the night now. Cook able to cut it off there. Autumn Cook does a great job cutting off the inbound pass from Walker to Klopper. And Hempfield gets it right back, now up by 10. And now they can really start to play the clock, you think, as Weinelt.
Looks like what they're doing.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh, they've got this planned out.
Yeah, we've seen this before, Xander, and I think it's not going to work for the entirety of the 4:17, but they're going to try and take some clock, and then Cook will try to get to the bucket and can't. But Moffitt with a nice rebound. Second chance points of where Lauren Moffitt have made a living this season, and a travel is called. Klopper cannot believe it. Klopper is stunned, but it's Hempfield ball now up by 12, and they're really starting to blow this one open, coming to the final half of the final quarter. 4:04 to play. Weinel inbounds Dakota off the mark, and that time it's rebounded by Thomas, who gets it back to Schmoose. Across, Walker trying to square up Dakota, can't do it. Patillo. Back to Walker. A little rough there. Yeah. Schmoose gets on top of it. Chambersburg, they got any chance. They need to get something going, and instead it's a foul. It will be a shooting foul, looks like called.
I'm not entirely sure if she was going up for the shot there.
Yeah. Tough to tell, but that's how the refs deem it anyway. It's called on Moffitt. That is her second. Chambersburg is 1 away from the bonus, but this will have 2 regardless. For Walker, who has not scored tonight so far. Now she has. Got 1 point, 1 free throw. To try and cut it to 10 now. Walker will not connect off the front of the rim, and Wynot is there. 11-point game. I was seeing the same thing you were, and then Klopper went to the ground, and I was looking the other way. But she's caught for the foul there, so it didn't pay off regardless. And Dakota will come back to the line now as she tries to continue what has been a great night for her. 16 points for Lindsay Dakota, and a chance to add to it. Oh, look at that bounce. Bounces through to tie her season high of 17. And has one more shot to come now. Chambersburg will call a timeout with 3:28 to go. So at times earlier on, Xander, it looked like Hempfield was going to be in trouble. Chambersburg looked like they were shutting him down, especially in the first quarter, but Hempfield has really started to blow this thing open in the second half.
Looks like the biggest change they made that helped was that lineup change.
Yeah, it's true.
Although it's hard to do to pull out some seniors, sometimes you have to do it.
It definitely produced a little bit more energy. We'll see if we see those seniors, though, back in before the end, and I hope we do. This is senior night, and I think doing right by your seniors is very important. And if this game gets to a point, if this game gets to a point, and I feel like it's kind of at that point already, but when the coach teams, it gets to a point where Hempfield's got it in the bag, they'll probably put all of the seniors back on the court and see what they can do here. As you mentioned, not their final game at the Buchanan Gym, but this one is considered senior night. Black Knights are 12-0 in league play. They will have a chance to finish off a perfect 13-0 record with a game against McCaskey. That will be Tuesday. That will be at home. We will be at the boys' game against McCaskey for the boys' final game of their season. Of course, they will not be heading to playoffs, so that will be the farewell for them. They had their final home game against Pottstown earlier. We mentioned the dominating performance. Connor Axton, 8 threes in that game. Ryan Hilton had 34 points. Great performance by Hempfield. 72-61 was the final of that one to get that team back to 6-15. Entering their final game, and Dakota now has a new season high in points. 18 for her on the night with 3:25 to go. That was Kira Mattis yelling from the sideline. I'm trying to make out what exactly she said, but I think at this point it's a bit of a head game. Cook able to get the rebound off the missed shot. Hempfield they can borderline kick it in neutral, and as I mentioned, Kasey, you're Xander, I'm Kasey. As I mentioned, Xander, Herman and McGarry getting ready to come back in here for these final few minutes. Dakota. Can she get 20? No. Foul call. Looks like originally it was going to be a travel. Instead, it's a foul, and now Dakota will come back to the line. I don't think she's missed a free throw tonight, has she?
I believe she is 100%.
Yeah. Entering the game for Hempfield, number 4,
McGarry and Herman will come back in for Cook and Moffitt, so consider it a reverse passing of the torch. Of course, Cook and Moffitt going to have big roles in this team in the years to come, but for Herman and McGarry, this is their last hurrah. And so they come back in for the final 2:52. That one does not go.
We jinxed her.
Yeah, we jinxed her. I was just going to say, all right. Oh, it's still been a great night for Dakota, and I don't think it's over yet. And Dakota, why not add a steal on it? Now can she get to the bucket? Yes, she can. Lindsay Dakota popping off on senior night. 20 points for the senior to match her jersey number. Here's a three from Schmoose. It goes. Nice shot by Sydney Schmoose to quiet this crowd a little bit.
Student section still on their feet.
Yeah, and a lot of that student section, as I mentioned, made up with the boys team. Good to see that support here. These boys who played earlier had that big win. We saw them at Hot Z after the game and took a little picture of them, and it's Dakota.
22 points.
Why not keep it going? Lindsay Dakota's finest hour to this point might be this game on senior night. 22 points. Here's another three. It doesn't hit a single thing. And the student section We heard a lot of those air ball chants at E-Town for the boys game the other night, and we hear more now here. Britt Axe comes in for Dakota, who gets a standing ovation coming off the court, maybe for the final time tonight. And if that's it for her on senior night, what a senior night it's been. 22 of Hempfield's 36 points belong to her. Herman out to McGarry. McGarry will take a jumper. That goes! Molly McGarry for 2, and that's good to see for McGarry, who has not played a ton this season. Nice to see her get a bucket, though, on senior night. Here's another shot off the mark. And push there. Will, I believe,
be on Chambersburg.
Yeah, called on Chambersburg. So that puts Hempfield in the bonus, and I believe it is Axe who will get the shot now. She will have 2, as we're now in the double bonus. As Chambersburg have committed 10 fouls in this half. As we've said, Knights have really blown it open here. Axe off the mark.
Entering the game for Hempfield, number 10.
Kira Mattis will come in, and Lauren Riggs will get a standing ovation on her senior night. And we see Ava Bear, I think, getting ready to check in as well. She will come for Herman. Herman will get a standing ovation, well-deserved as well. The lone senior remaining out there is McGarry. And she now looks like, I think, is going to get ready to sum out as well. This one won't go. Cook is going to sub in for McGarry at the next opportunity. Getting it out. Thomas inside. Schmoose. Another foul.
Up and down foul.
Yeah. That one called on Hempfield.
Hempfield foul. Number 14, Bear. First, team does.
That is on there. And Molly McGarry will be the last senior to get a standing ovation tonight as she comes to the sideline in Autumn Cook's favor. In the student section, they're getting hype, and it might be working here coming down to the end.
On the court here, we see the future of the Hempfield girls basketball team.
Yeah, we do. Aaron, Mattis, Axe, Weinhold, and Cook. 3 sophomores, a junior, and a freshman. To finish this one off, Axe. Blocked by Thomas, but Cook gets back on top of it. And Autumn Cook out to Axe. Cross to Weinhold. And Weinhold back to Bear. Nice pass. Cook can't finish. And you get a jump ball called with 9.5 seconds left, and that'll give Hempfield a chance to put Ori Edmond in for these final 9.5 seconds. She was the lone Hempfield player we hadn't seen get in the lineup yet, but she'll get at least a little bit of playing time here on senior night. You gotta think she's gonna be a piece of the future as well. 9.5 seconds to go. Will Hempfield try to get a final shot, or will they hold? Axe is going to let this thing, well, or not.
Looks like
with 0.3 of a second. You know, I can't tell. I didn't catch exactly what the ref's call was, but it don't matter. This one is over, and the Black Knights on senior night, 38-22, the final score. Lindsay Dakota had 22 on the night to lead the Knights. Knights will have their last home game of the regular season against McCaskey. They will take a 16-5 overall record, 12-0 league record into that game. Xander, final thoughts on what we saw tonight? Great win for the Knights on senior night.
I thought this was an excellent display of their offense in this second half, and I think that they've got a great future going into the league playoffs, and hopefully they'll make it to the district playoffs.
Yeah, they're in good position to do just that, beating Chambersburg today. Chambersburg will fall to 4-15. But for these seniors, for these 4 seniors, glad we got to see them all get in, get some meaningful playing time in this one. And now we will move on and move ahead forward as the girls will take on McCaskey. But until then, for my producer Connor Sensenig, colleague Xander Hughes, I'm Kasey Kreider saying so long. You've been watching Hempfield girls basketball on senior night on HSC TV7. Good night, everybody.